So you all are probably wondering the origins of Halloween.
I do ponder that
I was
from
actually
time to time.
very curious about that.
I thought you were. That's why I brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is from the Celtic.
Who's breathing?
It's
really
so
heavy?
fucking hot.
Whoa, hold on. I don't know what you're talking about. It's hot now because we just lit a fire. Nice little cozy fire.
You know,
Very warm over here.
I can actually feel my mask getting hotter.
We got fire as an appearance on the podcast. By the way, for those
His mask is gonna melt.
It's literally melting.
wondering who aren't watching on YouTube, we're outside and there's a fire in front of us.
Guys, it's really...
It's high 70s.
It's going down. It's starting to get better.
It's fucking high 70s outside, and it's humid.
Hey,
His costume is stuck to me.
continue, Dale.
I'm going to continue now.
Please continue.
So the reason why we have this fire started tonight was to honor the Celtic Halloween tradition of, how do you pronounce this? Samhain.
Uh-huh.
They believed that if you lit bonfires, it would ward off the evil spirits of the dead.
So we're pretty safe, huh?
Yeah, for now.
I like that idea. I like the idea of being safe, Batman.
So, how long ago was this when they came up with that?
Pretty long ago.
So where do costumes come into play, huh?
No one knows.
So how is this going to keep us safe?
Was this the origins of Halloween?
From the Celtic, so Halloween is
That's like the Irish and Scottish, like before they were Irish and Scottish.
Is that where Halloween came from?
Well, hold on. The Halloween that we celebrate today is a mixture of Celtic and Christian culture. So Halloween, from Christian culture, comes from All Saints' Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually...
Oh, that's where they dressed up as their favorite saint.
Yeah, I think so.
And then they'd go door to door and get candy.
Yeah, I like that. I like that terminology versus any other kind of terminology.
So at one point, they mixed the Celtic and the Christians came together, and they named it All Hallows Eve.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's just a little
That's a
quick
little
history
tidbit.
lesson.
Yeah. For you.
Tidbit of history.
I don't know if it's 100% accurate, everything I just
Mason,
told you.
your mustache is coming off.
You gotta put it back on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Halloween special of Undrafted. I'm Juan.
I'm Mason.
I'm Pickle Cam.
I'm Batman.
And we're back with another episode. If you're watching us on Spotify, really check out this episode on YouTube where we have lights, cameras, and we're in somebody's backyard.
My backyard.
And we're all dressed up in different costumes.
Yeah. It's been...
What are you?
Oh, I'm Albert Einstein.
Come on, give us your best Albert Einstein impersonation.
Okay, all right, let's go. Let's do this. So, there's really no recordings of his voice, right?
There is recordings of his voice.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was around like in the 40s.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
College
Didn't you
classes.
watch Oppenheimer?
No, I have not.
No,
Oh, shout out to my dogs, bro.
It's like the dogs are fucking barking at a ghost or something.
Yeah, they always be barking at something,
Yeah.
Are y'all cold? I can put more wood in the fire.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty cold. My back is actually cold.
Actually, it just got like
weird.
I just felt
There's a little bit
breeze.
of wood behind you.
Yeah, go ahead and throw some wood in there, Cam.
Oh yes, yes.
You called him Cam.
You
Go
don't
ahead,
look
throw
like...
some wood in there.
So,
Einstein.
Did we go over what Cam's costume is?
Want me to do the best impersonation of what I'm dressed up as?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
He didn't even break it up. It's
He's doing an impersonation of what he is.
Oh, what he is? Sweet. You can do that? Okay, he can do that the whole episode.
That was my impersonation of a pickle.
Nice. Dale?
I'm Batman.
You're right over there,
Bro,
Einstein.
you're worse than Juan when we're playing the game.
Well, again, guys, if you're on our all audio podcast, check out the YouTube channel. And if you're on YouTube and you want to take a long drive and listen to our all audio version, you can literally go anywhere. We are on Apple Podcasts, down to Spotify. So how's everybody been lately? Huh?
I've been good, you know.
But it's actually been a while. For you guys, there's no interruption on posting, but for us, it's been a little while since we got in front of a camera, some lights and stuff.
Yeah.
What's it been, 2 weeks?
Huh?
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, I think.
Two?
How's everybody been?
I've been great.
Good.
Pickle Cam?
Yeah, pickle.
Yeah, I've just been real pickly, you know.
What you been doing?
Man, lately I've just been pickling around, you know.
Nice.
Elaborate. What does pickling around mean?
What are the dogs barking at?
Man, I don't know.
Honestly.
Probably a ghost since the fire's dying down.
I don't see anything out there. You see anything?
I got glasses on. Sunglasses.
Yeah, so do I.
It's real
Sunglasses.
real sunny
Man, that's how
out
you
here.
know he's cool. Sun ain't even out.
I like it.
All right, I didn't read the set list.
But,
so what
but
do we?
anyways, what
right
I've
now-
been up to though, is
Oh.
streaming. You know, go check out the Undrafted on Twitch.
We have a nice
Check me
little
out.
banner down below.
Also, the Instagram, it's going to be theundrafted.ttv.
I don't know how loud the dogs are gonna come in on this.
They're probably going to come in pretty loud. Just know the dogs are barking. My apologies.
Yeah, you can't smell Juan's feet, but we can.
What do you expect, man? I'm right by a fire.
Going back to
The dogs are smelling some cooked ass feet right now.
I really want some of that.
going back to what Cameron was saying. Yeah, you can check us out at the Undrafted.
Look at his face.
It's falling off, bro.
My face is so
Just
sweaty.
take off the mustache.
No, it's fine. I'm gonna stay in character.
You're not
Yeah,
even
go check
playing
out
a
Mason
character.
NXT.
And Mason NXT
We'll throw his banner up once.
once.
He needs a little help these days. Anyway,
Yeah, given the last what happened last time, I lost a few fans.
You lost a few.
Why don't wait? Hold up. Why don't you do a sincere apology to those fans?
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I think.
I'm sorry.
I still apologize, but say what they did was fucked up.
Hey, I apologize, but so again, guys, we got some burning hot topics.
Burning right here.
Literally burning.
Whittly,
Whittly.
burning.
Literally burning. Anyway, so I wanted to start it off with this Halloween special. First off, happy Halloween to everybody out there. I wanted to start off our Halloween night with some paranormal.
Man, R.I.P. Mason's mustache. Go ahead and put that bad boy back on there. Don't worry, there's no ants.
Got burning hot topics for you guys. I want to start off the Halloween with some paranormal stories that people that known us for a while, they know that we had Code 3 podcast where we talked about
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. We talked a whole bunch about paranormal stuff on there. I want to start off with Mason. I know you had one.
I do have one. Like he said, we mentioned it before, but for all the new people that haven't heard it, the house that I grew up in that my mom had bought, she actually bought from her mom's friend. So the house is, we still talk to the landlord or whatnot because she's a family friend. And I remember when we first moved into the house, it was like, I think our first Christmas there. And my grandparents came out from Oklahoma, so they slept in my parents' bedroom. My parents had an air mattress in the living room. They were sleeping in there. It was a full house. And I remember it was like probably 6 a.m. Now, this is obviously a scary, spooky story, but it was during Christmas time. Okay, this was during Christmas time. So it was like Christmas Eve, and at like 6 a.m, like almost 6 on the dot. You know how hard it is to pull an oven door down? Like it has a little bit of retention. Yeah. In the middle of the night, it just came and fell, and the glass broke. Like it just broke.
The grass broke?
The glass.
The grass.
Man, the grass just ended up broke.
No, so the glass just broke and shattered everywhere. Nobody knew what the hell happened. It was like freaked out. And I remember like a few days later, my mom was talking to the family friend that she bought the house from and just mentioned to it like, hey, it was kind of weird. And the homeowner she was like, that's so weird, because her husband, who had passed away, actually had a stroke in the front yard and actually passed away at the hospital. She was like, that's so weird, because my husband Danny, every Christmas Eve I would bake him a pie or bake him something at 6 a.m. So it just so happened that the first year that we actually had Christmas there, this oven just fell and broke at 6 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
He wanted his pie.
But that's kind of spooky, isn't
It
it?
is a little weird, yeah.
Because there's retention on a stove. You can't just.
I knew it.
It can't just fall.
I could tell already that Dale's gonna have some type of explanation for each one of these events.
He's like, yeah, gravity. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's
Simple
gravity.
as. This is gravity, mate. Simple as.
So you saying
So that's the Carbonaro effect.
The Coriolis effect. I'll say anything to disprove it.
I'm taking the mustache off.
Go ahead, Dale. Disprove it. Why in the world did that oven break like that?
Gravity.
He said, man, that was just an old ass oven, man.
Yeah, honestly, it could just
Just
been
an
old.
old
The
ass
house
oven.
settled, a cinder block underneath the.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to blow all y'all's mind because I actually have a paranormal story of my own.
That is a very unfitting sound effect.
That just did not belong in this episode.
I don't know why it was that one.
So anyway, I'm about like 7 or 8 years old, right?
I would never.
That was a while, though.
It was a long time ago. I'm going to let that one go. But anyway,
Man, that must have been a while.
That was probably 80s.
Cam's listening.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So I'm at my aunt's house, and it's, I don't know, like 11 o'clock at night, midnight maybe, around that time. And I decided I wanted to go outside for whatever fucking reason. And I look out the window, and I look at my aunt's car, and I see what appears to be a man sitting in the car, just looking at me. It freaked me the fuck out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I run back, and I'm screaming up top of my lungs, yelling at my aunt, like, oh, get the fuck out, there's a man in your car, you know?
Can you mimic the way you sounded probably back then?
No, that was a long time ago. So obviously she's like freaked out by this, but she's got like 1 million dogs, right? So she opens the door.
I feel like you're exaggerating when you say 1 million.
It was like 4 or 5. So no, but she opens the door, and the dogs go right to that car. That all of them, and they're barking at the car, but the man's gone, but they're at the spot that he was at, supposedly.
Yeah.
So
What do you mean
think-
supposedly? You're the one that saw this.
Well, you know, I could have been seeing things, but it's just a little weird that those dogs went right to the spot that I was saying that this guy was at.
Yeah.
And he's just gone. And I mean, I wasn't gone for like forever. You know, I just ran real quick to the kitchen just a couple feet away.
I feel like I have an explanation for that.
Yeah, what is it?
Car thief. You saw him in the act. He looked at you, was scared. And then by the time you went to go tell your aunt what was happening, he had left, and the dogs had smelt his scent when they went up to the car door.
I feel like-
that's exactly what
No,
happened. I can tell you that because I was that
because
guy.
the dogs would have. No, wait, what? The dogs would have chased him. They would have followed his scent. And they stayed around the car. So you know what, Mason? I finally have a paranormal story, and you're just trying to debunk it. You know.
I always try to get debunked.
Daisy
so
is standing on Ember.
Nice. Can we get a camera to pan that way?
No.
Well, yeah, that's crazy paranormal.
It really
See,
was.
it can be spooky if it was real.
It
Go
was
ahead.
real. Oh, that was way better than your stupid story about your oven breaking.
What? I feel like that was pretty spooky.
I want Juan to go next because I have some, but they're not as long as y'all's.
see, okay, so since I was a kid, I've had this problem with paranormal stuff happening to me. And it started back when I used to take care of my cousin who has special needs at my grandparents' house. And my grandparents, they lived in I guess I could say South Texas, right? Well, not really. Well, anyway, yeah, south from us. Anyway,
South of Texas.
south of our metroplex where we stay at. Anyway, so we stayed there, and there's a lot of noises that can happen outside, right? But there's not a lot of noises that I would assume that could happen inside that I was experiencing, that I was hearing, and seeing. So the way the room is set up is that there was this back room that was already spooky as it is, right? It's very, it's not really the best room. My uncle Shout out to him. He watches this podcast. He had a lot of heavy metal covers. So people that know Iron Maiden, that know Metallica, or know these really Megadeth, they have these very creepy album photos,
Covers and
yeah,
stuff.
and he would have them blown out into a 10 by 19 all over the walls. I'm talking about there was no blank spaces in there. So you're already going down this long dark hallway, then you're going into this room that feels possessed already, and then there's a back room to that room, and that's where we stayed at. And he wouldn't and he wouldn't go to sleep until like 3 in the morning, sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning. So I'm watching him, taking care of him, make sure he goes to the restroom, make sure he comes back, and he's fed and all that stuff, right? And I was doing that for years. And one night, I remember this one still, is we're there, right? And around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, he'll lay down, I'll lay down. I'm in the side couch. He has his own bed back there. And I'm laying down, and I finally close my eyes, right? But all the lights stay on. The lights to the big room, the lights to the hallway, the lights to the main room that we're in stay on. And I close my eyes around midnight, and then I wake up, and it's 2 in the morning. He's standing over me. He was a lot older than I was. He's standing over me. All the lights are out. The TV is buzzing, like it has that static. I forgot what movie that's from, but it was very staticky. It was an antenna TV anyway, so
Poltergeist.
It's able to do that, right? All the lights are out in the whole house, you know? And immediately I think, okay, cool. He needs to go to the restroom, and my grandpa or grandma turned off all the lights in the house because electricity, right? So I'm thinking the most logical thing. I get up to go take him to the restroom, and I let him use the restroom, and then right there in the hallway is the opening to the kitchen. There's a dining room table there that has about 6 or 7 chairs wrapped around it. I hear one of them move, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I know I've already heard stuff at this point. I know better than to go out there and be a white person and go investigate such things. So I let it be. Then I hear something else move. I hear something else drag. And now I move into the restroom. I'm not really in the hallway anymore by myself. I'm kind of, I don't want to be alone. And then I hear it kind of move, like get closer, like a chair dragging, like someone's sitting and scooching it toward me or toward the hallway. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. Nothing is going to happen. Immediately, the chair gets thrown into the hallway near the door.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so this is a whole thing that I've had experienced in this house. Was this whole chair gets thrown into the hallway against the door that I'm in. So now me and my cousin are inside the restroom. We're scared out of our minds, and I'm holding this door closed. And then when I open it, I'm thinking, okay, the chair's gonna be back where it was. This was all part of my mind. This was, something that happened to me, right? And then we're going to go back because at this point it's 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I open up the door. The chair's still there in front of the door. It's kind of broken. You can see it, right? So it kind of confirms a couple of things. That, one, this actually happened. 2, the chair is physically broken. So, and it's still, the chair, it's still there. The house is still there. They still live in that same house. And then the chair still has the damages that happened that night. Right.
Okay, so yeah, I've got one. Like I said, it's not as long as y'all's, but it was probably like 2015. My nephews used to come and stay at like my parents' house a lot, and they would stay in my old bedroom, and they kind of like made it into their own, and they would play in there a lot. My nephews, Zach and Malachi. And Malachi used to play in that room, and I would just be in like my room and stuff, my new room at the time, and they would go in there and they'd like play pretend, and then one day I hear them like just a blood curdling scream. They both run out of the room. They're both tears in their eyes, crying, and like they're shaking. And me and my dad, we go to them and we're like, "What happened? Are y'all okay? What happened?" And they said. They were like almost couldn't talk, And finally, Zach, with the older one, he said in the closet, he said there's a man in there, and he said there's a man in there, and like we're like there's no way. I mean, my dad, we went in there, we were like looking like to see if there was anything that looked like a man. We looked in the closet, there was nothing looked remotely like. All the lights in the room were on, and the closet, it was slightly open. It wasn't open all the way, but we opened it. There's nothing in there. That I was like, did y'all go in there? And they said no, he opened the door.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was a little late at night, but I don't know. It was just, I think kids, I don't know if their just imaginations run wild or what, but yeah, it freaked me out. And my room was right next to that one, and I sleep there at night. So they ended up sleeping in the room with my mom and dad. They normally slept in that other room, but after that, no.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, I think we have a little bit of time. I could throw this in there. So Jeremiah, my youngest, right? So at this time, I'm about 8. We were 7 years apart. He's his younger brother. He was on episode 3. I can check that out. He doesn't remember this, but we all remember it very vividly. The way my house is set up, my parents' house, is there's a living room, and then there's a hallway that leads to all of our bedrooms. Then that same hallway makes a sharp 90-degree turn into the master bedroom. And it's kind of a long ways till you get to the master bedroom. We're all playing. It's late at night, and we're playing with this little styrofoam football. So we're just sitting crisscross applesauce. We're just throwing it. He's like 3 or 4 at this time. We throw the football. Someone throws it over his head. It hits the corner of the hallway, and then it shoots straight down toward the master bedroom. It's late at night. This is why I feel like the imagination part for kids, it kind of varies, because like I feel like they have to experience something or watch TV or watch movies. Like they have to be able to somehow come up with this stuff,
Yeah.
But the thing is that my dad and my mom were they held a very Christian reserve household. Weren't allowed to even watch Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like it was like one of those houses, and so he wasn't exposed to any of that, especially at such a young age. Like no scary movies or nothing like that. He goes down there, blood hurling scream, kind of the same thing. He can't talk. He's white. It's like super like pale. He looks like he's about to pass out. And we're telling him like what happened, because he was supposed to go get the ball and they come back. And we could continue playing catch. And 4 years old, I don't know how somebody comes up with this, but he says there's a man in there. And my parents had a table right in front of the door. So if you open up the master bedroom door, there was a little table right there. He said there's a man there. He's under the table. And we're like, okay. Go in there, lights on and everything. And we're still trying to console him in the restroom. We're washing his face, washing off all the tears and everything. And then he says the man, he had no legs. He had no legs, and he's under the table. And then we're like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
That's fine.
So when my dad finds out, he's obviously upset with the older kids. He's upset with us because he thinks that we have put this in his mind, that there is a person there under the table with no legs.
Juan's out
Oh
there.
my God! Why didn't you pick this story first?
It's a pretty traumatic story, and then my brother, he doesn't remember this stuff, and I find that crazy because it's such a big part of the rest of the stuff that happened later on throughout the years.
Damn.
That's pretty crazy.
So does your dad remember this?
My dad does remember this. He remembers this. But then again, he's married to my mom, which if my mom was here on this podcast, she has 10 times worse stories because she lived in that house that I was babysitting at. So she lived through all that. And there is a lot of backstory to that, of why that house is like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to apologize.
Yeah, when I was about 7 years old, I was playing around with my mom's camera. She had like a little camcorder thing. I was playing around with it. My oldest brother, was watching me at the time. He's about 12 years older than me. And as I'm playing with it, he's thinking, he's like, man, he shouldn't be playing with that. He's going to break it. So he ends up telling me the story. He goes, hey, do you remember our other brother? He broke Mom's camera, and he don't live with us anymore. And I was like, what are you talking about? You talking about Stuart? That's our other brother. He's like, no, we had another one named Bobby. And I was like, what? I never heard of a Bobby. I was like, well, what do you mean? What happened to him? And there was this little rundown house behind our house. I was never allowed to go in there because it was falling apart. But it was on our property. And so whenever... what is that noise?
Scared the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie.
So anyway...
Camera got scared for him. Telling his own story.
I turn around, I look, there's nobody there.
So, anyway, my brother Derek, he told me, he's like, yeah, they made Bobby live out in that house back there. He lives there, and Mom and Dad, they feed him fish heads.
Bobby.
That's how he lives. And I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, well, and he said, yeah, and he don't like you. he's been watching you. And so I put Mom's camera down real quick. Because he told me if I break it, I'm going to go live with him. And from that day, for the next few months, my brother told my mom, and she thought it was so funny. So anytime I was playing outside, and you could see the house from our backyard, this little one-room house. My mom would come outside and she'd yell, she'd go, "Get back in that house, Bobby!" And I would run inside because...
Oh, no.
That's fucked up.
They kept it going?
They kept it going, bro.
Oh, bro.
My dad, he told me a story. He said when he was in high school, or maybe he just graduated high school, him and his buddy, one of his best buds, Ernie, they had two girls with them. They're out in a pickup truck. They went and they didn't know what to do, so they're just cruising around.
Hell yeah.
They didn't know what
Man, they're in a pickup truck.
They didn't know
drinking
what
some
to
beer.
do with two girls in a pickup truck?
Well, they were just cruising around.
What would you do, Juan?
Let's let him finish the story.
He would. They said that they just got bored and they were like, you know what, fuck it, let's go up to the cemetery. And it was dark and stuff. So they parked the truck. They're in the cemetery thinking it's spooky and thinking that they're gonna get it in with the ladies and stuff, that they're gonna get scared. And he said that while they were by the pickup truck just talking and chilling, that, what are you laughing at?
He said that they're going to get in with some girls and they're going to get scared.
What are these? Oh, no.
But he said that while they were in the graveyard, they saw one person walking up from the shadows, and then another, and then another. And he said it was a group of 10 people. They were real people. They weren't ghosts. And they all had weapons like a bat and stuff, and they were wearing hoods and dark clothing. And it was a cult. It was a cult. So they said that they got in the truck, and as they're driving off, this cult is literally following them. They're chasing their truck. And it got to the point to where one guy got so close he had a bat or a metal pole, and he was hitting the side of the truck as they were driving off. So he literally there was a cult that was out in the graveyard, and they had saw them and wanted to go and terrorize them.
Hell yeah.
And he said that it was real story, real people.
Hell yeah.
Wasn't no ghost, man. This cult was following them, probably trying to make a sacrifice.
That's why we got the Second Amendment, boys, so we can shoot ghosts.
They weren't ghosts.
How do you know?
Man, those are ghosts.
Continue, Mason. Continue.
Does anybody
that
else
was
have
the story. They said that they weren't ghosts, or that they were ghosts and not real people. They basically try to debunk my...
It took you so long to get it. I like your dad. I want to meet him.
You talking about Freebird?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you know why we call him Freebird, right?
No,
So
I got an idea, but
He likes to go by Freebird.
And we made a joke at work talking about how he talks to 18-wheeler truckers, but he's
never been a trucker in his life.
But he's not a trucker himself. So
he's got one of those radios.
He has one of those radios at home.
Jacob had one of those.
And he gets on the Freebird here. I just want to say God bless all those truckers out there up in the early morning. Anyway, here's Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts. And then he turns it up for them.
he's probably talked to my dad a few times.
No, my dad, he likes the persona Freebird. Every time he goes to a bar and does karaoke, his name is Freebird. He's a big Leonard Skinner fan. But yeah, their persona of him is that he's just a trucker and gets on a CB radio, starts talking to him.
What's
being a
up,
DJ.
brothers? I don't know if anybody's up in this morning, but anyway, here's Life is a Highway by Freebird. By Rascal Flatts. So I wanted to bring this up because I know, I know some of y'all have some experiences in this. It's a little thing, a little disease called sleep paralysis.
It's not a disease.
Not a disease.
Okay.
My bad. It's a little thing.
Anybody can have it.
It could even happen to you.
So I wanted to bring this up because I heard a certain pickle and a certain man dressed as a bat has this problem when they sleep. It's a little thing called sleep paralysis. Go and roll it.
Oh, you're going to show footage of my sleep paralysis?
show a video of Juan just standing over you.
Yeah, it's actually it's Juan this whole time.
It's him. We use black and white filter. We put him in the bed. And he's like, in the pickle suit. Oh, no.
That's what I do when I have sleep paralysis.
You're asleep, but your mind is waking up. You're trying to gather your surroundings. You open your eyes, your eyelids are heavy. You feel exhausted. What's that? You feel a tightness in your chest. You can't move your arms and legs. You begin to panic. Your head is full of a million thoughts. It's coming for you. The terrifying entity. No matter how hard you try to move, you can't. You're paralyzed with fear. It's painful and terrifying. The weight on your chest becomes heavier and heavier. You can feel your heart beating fast.
Time is running out. Why would you even bother going for
You and the figure are face to face. You are experiencing an incubus hallucination.
You're never going to move out of your parents' house. Do you think you could breathe? We don't have much time. Time is running out.
Don't panic. Try to gently wiggle your fingers and toes. Focus on your breathing. Calmly inhale and exhale. It's over. The figure is gone. You're safe.
So, for those who don't know, sleep paralysis is a natural phenomenon, right? It's where you are asleep, but your mind is awake. And your body, you can't move. The only thing you can do is breathe and open your eyes. And, brother, you don't want to open your eyes when you got sleep paralysis because your mind is like going all over the place, and it will see things. You open your eyes, you're in your room.
Got a question over here.
Okay, go ahead.
So what's the difference between sleep paralysis and nightmares? Like for those that really don't know.
Nightmares, you're 100%.
Because I know, but I just want you to explain it for
Yeah.
those that don't know.
A nightmare is when you are 100% asleep and you're dreaming really bad dreams. Sleep paralysis is your brain is awake and knows you're awake. You know you are not sleeping. You're laying there in bed. You can open your eyes and see everything, but there's more in that room than what's really there.
So let me add to this.
Like AR reality.
Yeah,
Augmented
it's-
reality.
let me add to this. Do you know what else can induce nightmares? Is
What's that?
sleep apnea. Because I have sleep apnea, and let me tell you, I have some gnarly nightmares.
You have a breathing mask?
Yes, but before I got that, I would stop breathing in my sleep. But my brain is trying to wake me up,
Why are
right?
you laughing? Why was
So my brain would induce nightmares. But my
shit.
nightmares would be somebody literally fucking choking me in my sleep.
Oh God.
It's like
Because you can't breathe.
Because I cannot breathe. So my brain's like, yo, you gotta wake the fuck up. Like, so here's a scary man over top of you choking you.
You know, that's like a good mechanism for waking up. You know,
Yeah, but like,
your brain's like, hey, all I got is
Oh, it's not working.
but like it works because my wife is like, yo, when you're not breathing, you wake up like,
Oh, I got to tell you about a crazy dream I had because I woke up screaming just like that. I scared myself from how loud I screamed. I was dreaming. I was dreaming that the dogs were barking, and maybe the dogs really were barking, and that's why it triggered my dream. But I was laying in bed in my dream, and I get up, and my wife is there. And I was like, hey, what are the dogs barking at? And she's like, she looks at me and she goes, oh, it's just the angel flying around outside. And I'm like, huh? And the curtains in my room start waving, right? And this angel is slowly coming in the window inside the house. And at that point, I'm like, I got to be dreaming. I got to start screaming, waking myself up because like the only time when you see an angel means you're going to die. So I screamed like in my dream and in real life, and I woke myself up, and like I could hear the echoes of my scream throughout the house.
Oh God, who was here? Who was here?
That's fucking-
Cheyenne was not home.
Oh wow,
That's even worse.
Yeah, and the dogs were just looking at me.
like what the fuck?
So, but anyway, yeah, sleep paralysis. That was different than sleep paralysis. Okay, I was able to just like wake up. That I was just dreaming. But sleep paralysis, you really can't move. But I've had it so much where I can get myself out of it, no problem. And that's kind of an issue. I shouldn't be having it that much.
you need to go see a doctor.
Maybe, but I just know the doctor's going to be like, you're just stressed. Stop being so stressed.
How do you know that? Are you a medical professional?
Well, no. But every time I look it up, like, why am I having sleep paralysis? Oh, it's induced by stress.
Yep.
Brother, you're stressed.
So let me tell you about my sleep paralysis one night. So I didn't have a door in my bedroom, and my head faced the door, you know? So I was just under a lot of stress at this time. My job, things weren't going great. And so one night I just opened my eyes, and I can't fucking move, you know, because I'm having sleep paralysis. And out of nowhere, the light in the hallway is on, and I see this shadow walk across the door, and I can't move. I'm like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck. And then it comes back, and it stops in the doorway and slowly walks towards me. And as it's walking towards me, it puts its hands on my leg and is rubbing my leg as it's slowly walking towards my face. And then it just goes like this over my face, and like I can't see anything at that point.
Oh my God,
Man, that's like almost wet sleep paralysis.
Right? But like after I finally gained function, I like fucking ran out the house. Like I was so fucking scared because that was
God.
the first time I had ever experienced that.
I don't know why. I just
Man, when I get scared, I start shooting. You know what I'm saying?
See, I was a little bit different. Whenever I first had sleep paralysis, I knew exactly what it was because I had watched a video about it like years before, and I was always deathly afraid to have it. And then
when you had it, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely sleep paralysis.
because I remember
this is it.
I was dreaming, right?
He scared himself into sleep.
I pretty much
He was like, fuck, that's scary.
because in my dream.
That was the only stress in his life.
This was having sleep. I hope I don't have sleep paralysis. I'm stressing.
I'm stressing. But I was dreaming. It was after a long work week, and in my dream, I was a cop, and I was working night shift, and I pulled someone over, and I had him out of the car, and I was talking to him, and I was like, "Hey, what's in the bag?" And I remember everything went slow. At this point, it got down to slow motion. The guy said, "Oh, it's just a little bit of cocaine," and like threw it at me. And at that point, I was awake, but I couldn't move, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is sleep paralysis." I was trying to shake. I could hear breathing. I could hear like TV static, and I was not opening my eyes because I knew if I opened my eyes, I was going to see some shit. But I could, even though I had my eyes closed, there was a light on me. There was a light on me. I could hear like. I couldn't make out what they were saying, but there was like murmurs all over the place. I felt the presence right by my ear, And I was shaking. I was trying to get out of it. And finally I did. And there was like nothing. I didn't go back to sleep, by the way. I was terrified.
I don't think you would.
Isn't it weird though that like when you were a kid, obviously your mind just plays tricks on you.
Let's check on time.
Babe, how are we? 15?
We have 5 minutes.
When you were a kid, oh, Jalen's over there. I called Cheyenne babe. My bad.
You gonna let this happen?
Okay,
Jalen!
Anyways, well, like when you were a kid, you were talking about feeling a presence. You ever like when you turn off a light or you're running out, like you go outside, you run back in, and you feel like you're getting chased?
Yeah, you pretend like Satan's chasing you.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but it somewhat kind of feels like it. You know what I'm talking about? You never did that?
Well, I experienced this in real life, so yes, I have.
I know what you mean because that's what I felt like. I felt like someone was right there breathing on me.
This is totally off the wall, but I kind of felt like somebody was in the presence of my room one time.
In your house you're in now?
No. In my when I was a kid, because so me and my brother, the way the house is that we have 2 separate bedrooms, but there's a door in the back that connects our bedrooms, and we always have it open or whatnot. And our beds are kind of like right in the thing. So like when Dalton's asleep, my brother's name's Dalton. When he was asleep and I was in there, I would just like shoot a BB gun in there at random times. And the BBs were glow in the dark BBs. So they'll be all over my room and all over his room. And I remember when I was like sleeping or I had woke up and I can see the glow in the dark BBs, but I see something kind of like walking in the way. And I'm like, bro, who the fuck's in here? So I got my BB gun and started shooting it again. But it was just like you could see the glow in the dark BBs on the floor and you could see like something's walking past it. So that freaked me out as a kid too.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
fucked
up.
I used to throw shit at Dalton when he was
that's probably one of my favorite stories of you and Dalton.
of us just shooting each other.
No. His favorite story is when you woke up and saw someone walk in front of the BB. The next time I had sleep paralysis was like a year later, and I remember that day I had talked to somebody that used one of those voice machines. Like I guess was a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
And he lost his voice, so he was like, I went to sleep and the thing is, sleep paralysis can either happen to you as you're falling asleep or as you're waking up. So it's happened to me both ways. It's happened to me as I'm falling asleep and it's happened to me as I'm waking up. So this time it happened to me as I'm falling asleep. I fall into it. Again, I didn't open my eyes, but I could hear someone out my window talking with one of those things. And again, I could hear that TV static. There was no TV turned on, but I could hear the TV static.
Is that strictly because that's what when you have sleep paralysis, you hear TV static, or is that amongst people who normally have?
I don't know. That's Dale. Did you hear TV static? No,
so that
I
must
did.
Be just you.
That might just be my thing.
Part of my sleep paralysis that really creeped me the fuck out was my mom was awake in the other room, and I could hear her. And so I'm trying to yell for help for her, but I just couldn't. And that, to me, that part of that, my sleep paralysis just really fucked with my head at that, like, because it's like one of those movies, where like the person's so close to being saved.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I've never had sleep paralysis while someone else was awake. I don't think. But, because even if they were, there really is no reaching out to them. And I also heard if someone wakes you up while you're in sleep paralysis, like shakes you, it can cause you to like have a heart attack.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I guess that probably wouldn't be the best option anyway.
So it just ain't no winning, huh?
Really, no. But
No,
anyways, again, I start trying to shake. My bones are like shaking, but my body is still. I finally, get out of it. Don't go back to sleep. But there's been several times like I would, and sometimes they start with dreams, as if like when I'm waking up and I have the sleep paralysis, like I'll be having a nightmare. I'm being chased in the woods, and then another time that I had it, I wake up in this sleep paralysis, and I can hear footsteps coming closer and closer to my bed, and then you can just feel somebody right there, and like you can. It's hard to breathe, so it feels like someone's sitting on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard the footsteps get closer and closer to me. I could even hear like the floor creak, and then it felt like they came and sat down on my chest, and like the bed sank and everything.
Did I mention to you a week or two ago about sleep paralysis?
You had it?
Did I mention it to you at all?
I don't know.
Because I felt like I did. Like seriously, I felt like I had it about 2 weeks ago, but I can't remember anything about
That
it.
you had self paralysis?
huh?
Did you have self paralysis?
Yeah, edit that out.
No, but like I felt like I had it, and I couldn't explain. Like when I had it, I was like, there's no other way to explain it besides from what I heard about sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Did I not mention it to you last week or two?
Well, as a self-proclaimed expert, as you know, I'm somebody who visits the
It's a
sleep
yes or no
paralysis
que-
realm quite a bit.
It's a yes or no
Explain your experience to me, my friend, and I'll let you know if that was sleep
No, I
paralysis.
can't. I
You being
can't.
in a pickle suit really just brings us all together.
I can't remember what was happening.
If you don't remember it, it probably was not sleep paralysis. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very traumatic.
No, he's being 100% genuine.
It is
right
very traumatic. I've lived that nightmare so many times.
Okay, because I it was like a last week or two, or about 2 weeks ago. I felt something. Like I felt like I knew that I was having it. Is that what the thing is?
You can know that
Like-
you absolutely can, but you might have been actually dreaming and aware that you were in a
And
dream.
I knew that I was in a dream.
You could that happens too, but that's not sleep paralysis. That's lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. Then.
Yeah.
Like I knew that I was.
So-
it was going on.
So here's my thing with dreaming and having that correlate with negative thoughts or evil stuff happening.
I felt a presence.
Yeah, I was like, this whole episode, I've been feeling like someone's watching us. Like,
Yeah, we're scaring ourselves.
like, I was like spooking
Making
out
sure
here.
Cheyenne's over there. Anyway, so with my thing with sleeping and this and that is lucid dreaming, right?
Yeah.
So I actually do that more frequently. I know.
Are you
when-
taking acid?
No,
Okay.
but I know whenever I'm aware that I am dreaming. So, for instance, this past week, like dreaming and being in a dream, and then I gain consciousness of knowing that I am dreaming. Like this is not real. There's no way I would be walking down the streets of the city we live near, and nobody's there. Like no population, no nothing.
I love those dreams.
And so I'm walking, and I just keep on walking because I mean I can control what's I know that I'm dreaming, but I can't really fully control. Like I can't go up there and fly and do whatever I want. It's like I'm still in third person looking at myself, like dream.
Is it black and white?
No,
Okay.
but then everything kind of turns like a really like once I gain consciousness and know that I'm dreaming, things start changing around me.
Does it change for the worse
It changes for the worse.
every
God.
time?
And so I know when I gain consciousness, I know I have about a good 30 seconds to a minute before I have to wake up, like in dream time. So I don't know how that translates in the real time, but in dream time, I got about 30 seconds. I got to get out of this.
Dude.
And
Oh, sorry.
so what happens is that the whole sky, like for instance, for this dream specifically in the city, everything turns dark purple, like a real saturated dark purple. And
Purple
then
haze.
and then
yeah.
I start
Jimi
seeing,
Hendrix.
and then I
Shout
start
out Jimi
seeing,
Hendrix.
and then I start seeing people. I start seeing people walk, right? And then, but their faces are different. They're not really human faces. Like they're human, but they're not.
Yeah, like alien. Huh?
Like
Yeah.
you, kind of.
But
Like look at the camera real quick. Yeah, like that. So they're walking up and down the street,
And
right?
they're looking like Mason.
And
Just a bunch of Masons, huh?
Yeah,
It's
like-
scary.
yeah, it freaks me out.
See, when I dream about Mason, he's always bald.
And
I don't know why.
For some reason, naked.
Oh no!
He's completely hairless.
Every time I dream
And freckleless.
of freckleless, would that be even more scarier? A freckleless Mason.
Ain't no texture on there.
Continue.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
so these blurred faces start walking up and down the street. These blurred faces start walking up and down the street, right?
And they go up to you and say, "My name's Blurry Face, and I care what you think."
No. But I know that things are taking a turn for the worst.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get the gut feeling that something's not really going my way. Something's about to not go right,
Yeah.
you know? And then all of a sudden, these figures start getting a little bit above average height. A little bit more above average height, like 7-8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Their arms start getting a little bit longer than the normal person. Deformities start happening.
Right.
And then that's the only time I've ever, during dreams like that, that's the only time I've ever heard static.
Really?
Inside my dreams.
See, whenever, like I said, I've had sleep paralysis so much, I know when I'm going into it as I'm falling asleep, because I'll be sitting there and I can feel myself going to sleep, but as soon as I start hearing that static, I'm a wide awake because I'm like, no, I guess I can't go to sleep just yet.
Is it that scary that you don't want to go through?
I don't want to go through that shit.
No, this is like the worst fucking thing possible.
Yeah.
You will, if like you feel like it could come on, you're like, nah, I ain't risking it. I'm just going to wake up.
Yeah, because like, that's the thing. I know how to get out of it now. I violently shake myself.
He's just like, no.
Yeah. No! And because one time I did fall into it, and I knew I was in it. I was hearing the static. I was hearing the murmurs, and I was like, okay, I'm about to get out of this. Let me just see what's out there. I opened my eyes for like a millisecond, and never again, because I saw this like tall, like Slender Man. Except it was a woman with long black hair, no face.
It's raining.
Man,
it is raining a little bit right now. But yeah, she was standing like in the corner of my room. And when I opened my eyes for that second, she was like looking, she like looked up at me. But she had no face. Yeah, so I was like, nope. I shake myself.
Nah, time to wake up.
She's like, this guy again. He's not going to open his eyes.
So
yeah, she's like,
wait a
shit.
second. But speaking of lucid dreaming, going back to that, this was the weirdest lucid dream I ever had, because like, it's Christmas, right? And I'm dreaming with my family. We're all around the tree and everything. I'm standing behind everybody. But then I realized I was dreaming. And at that point, that's when everyone like turned around and looked at me and just smiled. You know, like, you ever see that movie Smile?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
They smiled at me like that. And that was fucking crazy. And like my sister started pulling out like a knife. And I was like, oh, fuck. You know, because like, I don't know what is it. You ever see that show Sandman? And that show that he explained, like, when you're in your own dream, it's okay. But then once they start realizing that you are aware that this is your dream, your brain tries to kill you or something.
It's kind of like Inception.
Yeah.
It's like exactly like the movie Inception. Everybody okay? Someone's about to fucking throw up over here. It's kind of like the movie Inception. Where they find out who the creator of this thing is, and they just want to kill it.
Yeah.
It's like white blood cells that realize that there's, I guess, some kind of bacteria that enters the bloodstream.
Right.
And what does white blood cells do to that bacteria?
Kill it.
Kill it. Do everything they can to kill it.
But you know, I also heard that
Science.
I don't know. These are like dream experts or whatever. I don't know how they can study a dream if they're not seeing it unless it's their own dream. But apparently, you can't dream of somebody who doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can only dream of people that you've seen before, even if you've only seen them once. And they show up in your dream, you might think, "Oh, I've never seen this person before. It's my mind made it up." Your mind can't do that.
See, and that's the thing. I can't remember the last time it happened, but I've had dreams like in the past year or two, where I've dreamed of people from high school that I haven't seen in years.
That happens to me sometimes. I guess they're just in the back of your mind. But I also heard that you dream of somebody when they're thinking about you.
Ooh.
Well, that's weird.
Why is it nothing but dudes? Well, speaking of, 100 subscribers, he's going to go ahead and shave his head, right?
Okay, how about
Yeah,
Mason?
hold on to that wig.
Mason, if we get to 100 subscribers, I will shave my head with you.
Ooh,
You're already halfway
damn.
there.
Jesus.
How about this?
You're already halfway
How about this?
there.
100 is really not enough.
That is the most.
Let's go with 500. 500. If we reach 500 by the end of next year, how about that, huh?
I'm
we
not
all
shaving
shave
my-
our head.
No.
Hold on, let's stipulate, because he'll be like, if we get to 500 like tomorrow, he'll be like, you said by the end of next year.
I'll tell you what. If we reach 500, whenever we reach 500 followers, I'll get a tattoo of the Undrafted logo on me.
Let's all do it. All of us.
See that?
Okay,
See that?
but
See
hold on.
that?
We're gonna have to vote on which one is the official one because
The one that we have now, the
would
UD.
I would really hate for you to waste your money on that.
The UD, if we reached, fuck it.
500?
Yeah, we reached 500 subscribers. I
Yeah.
will get the UD logo.
I will
tatted
also
on me.
do that. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
we'll
let's
do
make
that.
a pact right now, recorded outside. I'm in a pickle suit. We're doing it. We're gonna get tattoos of the logo when we reach 500.
Yeah,
so
500.
if the viewers want to
like
see
that.
that make it happen.
And it can be as small as you want. It doesn't have to be a fucking whole back.
No, it has to be able to be seen.
The whole back
from a
piece.
mile
Your
away.
whole
Entire back.
Your whole back has to be a U and a D. Take it out.
the whole back tattoo.
It has to be a good size.
All right, to
That's what
the
she said.
well, how many do you have? 69 right now, I think. Or 70 or
Nice.
69.
Nice.
Nice.
Did
So
you all
that's
see that?
69.
Did y'all
To-
see that community post I made?
Yes.
Nice, right?
To our 69 subscribers out there, we want
Reach out to your friends and family.
Yes, reach out to everybody. Thank you so much for reaching out to us, to making Twitch accounts, to come watch Cameron play games and watch us all on live, to joining our Discord. This little project or hobby that we decided to do for fun has gone way above what we thought it would ever get to, I think.
Speaking of Discord, make sure to join our Discord if you want exclusive content.
Yes. So thank you guys once again for listening to us and being part of this podcast with us. If you want to watch us get some back tattoos that are going to take up the whole back, subscribe. Tell your parents to subscribe. Tell your sisters to subscribe. Your brothers, your cousins, your grandmas, your grandpas.
Make 100 extra YouTube channels just so you can subscribe.
And we'll
to
see you guys next week.